Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In Islam and Hinduism, the concept of a prophet has fundamental differences in its role, function, and status. In Islam, a prophet is a messenger of God who receives revelation to guide humanity to the right path. The last prophet in Islam was the Prophet Muhammad, and there was no prophet after him. In Hinduism, the concept of a prophet, as in Islam, does not exist. However, there are holy figures who have similarities with prophets in terms of guiding humans. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Hopefully, this video will be useful for all of us. In Hinduism, several figures known in Islam as prophets have different roles or identities. Some figures who are often considered to have similarities between Islam and Hinduism include 1. Prophet Adam. Prophet Adam is called Manu in Hinduism, who is considered the first human ancestor and the compiler of the law in the Manusmriti. In Hinduism, Manu is the first human ancestor and the compiler of the law in the Manusmriti book. His story is similar to Prophet Adam in Islam, but with some differences in detail. The story of Manu in Hinduism, Manu is called Manu Vasishtha, who is the first human and the ancestor of all mankind. He is the son of the sun god, Vivasvan, and is given the task of starting human life on earth after a great disaster. One day when Manu was praying in the river, he found a small fish that spoke and asked for protection. The fish turned out to be the god Vishnu who was testing Manu. Manu took care of the fish, and the fish continued to grow until he finally realized that the fish was Vishnu in the form of Matsya avatar, the first incarnation of Vishnu. The fish warned Manu that there would be a great flood that would destroy the world. Manu was ordered to build an ark and bring the seeds of life and various living creatures to save them from destruction. When the flood came, Manu and the creatures he saved survived until the water receded. After that, Manu restarted life on earth, making him the ancestor of mankind. Similarities between the history of Manu and the story of Prophet Adam. Manu is considered the first human and the ancestor of all humans, similar to Prophet Adam in Islam. He received revelations and guidance to save mankind. Manu is also associated with the concept of law and rules of life, Manusmriti, while Prophet Adam in Islam is the first human to receive direct guidance from Allah. However, in Islam, the story of Prophet Adam focuses more on his creation by Allah, events in heaven, and his descent to earth after being tempted by the devil. While in Hinduism, Manu is better known for his role in saving life from the Great Flood and starting human civilization. Second prophet Noah. Prophet Noah is associated with Manovas Vada, who in Hindu mythology saved living beings from a great flood, as in the story of Prophet Noah. The story of Manovas Vada in Hinduism has similarities to the story of Prophet Noah in Islam, especially related to the Great Flood event, the story of Manovas Vada in Hinduism. Manovas Vada was a wise king who underwent asceticism and prayer on the banks of the river. One day, a small fish approached him and asked for protection from predators. Manu took care of the fish, and over time, the fish grew very large. Finally, the fish revealed himself as Lord Vishnu in the form of Matsya avatar. Vishnu warned Manu that the world would be hit by a great flood that would destroy all life. Manu was ordered to build a large ark and fill it with plant seeds and various living creatures to save life. When the flood came, Matsya, a giant fish, pulled Manu's ark to the top of the mountain, where the water finally receded. After that, Manu restarted human life on earth. Similarities between Manovas Vada and the story of Prophet Noah. 1. Great Flood. In both stories, there is a great flood that destroys the world. 2. Ark of Salvation. Manu and Prophet Noah were ordered to build a large ship to save lives. 3. Rescued living creatures. Both brought living creatures to maintain the continuity of life after the flood. The beginning of a new civilization. After the flood waters receded, they became the ancestors of the new humans. However, in Islam, Prophet Noah was a prophet who called his people to believe, but only a few followed him. While in Hinduism, Manu is better known as a human ancestor who acted according to Vishnu's instructions without any elements of preaching as in Islam. Third prophet Abraham. Prophet Abraham. Some associate him with Brahma, the creator figure in the Hindu Trimurti, although this is more speculative. The story of the Prophet Abraham in Islam and his speculative relationship with Brahma in Hinduism stem from their phonetic similarities and roles in the teachings of each religion. The story of the Prophet Abraham in Islam. Prophet Ibrahim is known as the father of the prophets and the main figure in the history of monotheism. He was raised in a pagan environment, but from a young age he rejected those beliefs and sought the truth about the true God. After receiving a revelation from Allah, he called on his people to abandon idol worship, but they refused and even tried to burn him alive. However, Allah saved him from the fire. The Prophet Ibrahim was also tested with the order to slaughter his son, in Islam, usually identified as Ismail. Because of his obedience, God replaced his son with a lamb. He also built the Kaaba in Mecca with Ismail as a place of worship to Allah. Similarity of Brahma in Hinduism. In Hinduism, Brahma is the creator god in the Trimurti, along with Vishnu and Shiva. He is believed to be the origin of life and the creator of the world. Brahma is often depicted with 4 faces that represent the knowledge of the 4 Vedas. Speculations on the relationship between Abraham and Brahma. 1. Similarity of names. The words Ibrahim and Brahma sound similar, although their etymologies are different. 2. Ancestor of mankind. Prophet Abraham is considered the father of monotheism and the ancestor of many nations, while Brahma is the creator of the world in Hinduism. 3rd religious role. Abraham established the Kaaba as a center of worship, while Brahma is associated with the formation of the Vedas. However, these similarities are more hypothetical than part of the official teachings of both religions. In Islam, Abraham is a prophet and servant of Allah, while in Hinduism, Brahma is the creator god. 4th prophet Moses. Prophet Moses, sometimes associated with Vasishtha, a sage, saint, who had a large role in the Vedic scriptures. The story of the prophet Moses in Islam and his connection to the Rishi Vasishtha in Hinduism are often based on their similar roles as spiritual leaders who guided their followers with divine teachings. The story of the prophet Moses in Islam. Prophet Moses is one of the greatest prophets in Islam. He was born in Egypt when Pharaoh oppressed the children of Israel. To save him, his mother drowned him in the Nile River, and he was later found and raised by Ramses' family. When he was an adult, Moses received a revelation from Allah through the miracle of fire in a bush, which assigned him to free the children of Israel from slavery. With miracles such as parting the Red Sea, he brought his people out of Egypt. Moses also received the Torah on Mount Sinai as a law for his people. The story of Rishi Vasishtha in Hinduism. Vasishtha was a Maharishi, great sage, in Hinduism who was known as a king's advisor and spiritual teacher. He is said to be the author of the Rig Veda and had great spiritual powers. He is also known for fighting injustice and imparting wisdom to kings. Similarities between Moses and sage Vasishtha. 1. Spiritual leader. Both were wise leaders who guided people or kings with divine teachings. 2. Miracles or spiritual powers. Moses had miracles such as a staff turning into a snake, while Vasishtha is said to have divine powers in various Hindu stories. 3. Upholding justice. Moses freed the children of Israel from oppression, while Vasishtha often advised kings to act justly and righteously. Despite some similarities, Vasishtha does not have a story of liberation like Moses, and in Hinduism, he is better known as a spiritual teacher than a leader who brought revelations from God. 5th prophet Jesus. Prophet Jesus. Some link him to Pradyumna, the son of Lord Krishna, or even as an avatar in certain Hindu traditions. The story of the prophet Jesus in Islam and his relationship with Pradyumna, the son of the Hindu god Krishna, are often linked because of their roles as holy figures and saviors. The story of the prophet Jesus in Islam. Prophet Jesus is one of the great prophets in Islam who was born from Mary without a father, as a miracle from Allah. Since childhood, he has performed miracles, such as speaking in the cradle to defend his mother. Jesus was sent to guide the children of Israel who had strayed, brought the Bible, and performed various miracles, such as healing the blind, bringing the dead to life, and making birds from clay that could live with Allah's permission. Those who opposed him conspired to crucify him, but in Islam, the prophet Jesus was not crucified, but was lifted into heaven by Allah, and is believed to return at the end of time to fight the Dajjal. Pradyumna in Hinduism. Pradyumna was the son of Lord Krishna, who is believed to be an incarnation of Kamadeva, the god of love. As a baby, he was abducted by the demon Sambara and thrown into the sea. However, he survived and was raised by Mayavati, who later helped him understand his true identity. As an adult, Pradyumna killed Sambara and returned to his father, Krishna. Similarities between Jesus and Pradyumna. Special birth. Jesus was born miraculously without a father, while Pradyumna is the reincarnation of Kamadeva. Disappearance and return. Jesus was not crucified, but was raised to heaven and is believed to return at the end of time. Pradyumna also disappeared as a child and returned to his father after adulthood. Role as a savior. Jesus came to guide his people, while Pradyumna is a warrior who fights evil. Some Hindu schools consider Jesus to be an avatar, divine incarnation, similar to Krishna or Buddha. This view usually arises from a syncretic approach that sees Jesus' teachings of compassion as part of the concept of Dharma in Hinduism. However, in Islam, Jesus is a prophet and servant of Allah, not a god or an incarnation of God, which distinguishes him from the Hindu concept of avatars. Sixth, Prophet Muhammad. Prophet Muhammad. Some theories link him to figures in Hindu scriptures, such as Kalki avatar, who is said to be the final savior in the cycle of times, Kali Yuga. The story of the Prophet Muhammad in Islam and his relationship with the Kalki avatar in Hinduism are often discussed because both are considered to be the heralds of great change at the end of an era. The story of the Prophet Muhammad in Islam. The Prophet Muhammad was born in Mecca in 570 AD. Since childhood, he was known as an honest and trustworthy person. At the age of 40, he received the first revelation from Allah through the angel Gabriel in the cave of Hira, marking the beginning of his prophethood. He was sent to spread the teachings of Tawheed, the oneness of Allah, and call on people to abandon idol worship and unjust acts. Initially, his preaching was rejected, and he and his followers experienced various tortures. After moving to Medina, Islamic teachings developed rapidly, until finally he succeeded in conquering Mecca peacefully. The Prophet Muhammad is also referred to as the seal of the prophets, which means there were no prophets after him. Islam also developed into a major religion that brought social and spiritual changes to the world. Kalki avatar in Hinduism. In Hindu scriptures, especially the Puranas, it is stated that at the end of the Kali Yuga, the era of darkness and moral decline, Kalki avatar, the last incarnation of Lord Vishnu, will come. Kalki is depicted as a figure on a white horse with a flaming sword who will destroy evil, restore Dharma, truth, and bring about the beginning of a new era, Satya Yuga. Similarities between Prophet Muhammad and Kalki avatar. 1. End of time. Prophet Muhammad is the last prophet in Islam, while Kalki is the last avatar of Vishnu who came at the end of Kali Yuga. 2. Eradicating evil. Muhammad came in the era of ignorance and injustice, eliminating idol worship and establishing justice. Kalki is also said to end evil and save the world. 3. Bringing new teachings. Prophet Muhammad brought Islam as a guide to life, while Kalki in Hinduism is believed to bring moral and spiritual renewal. Important differences in Islam. Muhammad is a prophet and not an incarnation of God, while in Hinduism, Kalki is an incarnation of Vishnu. Kalki is depicted as coming in the future, while the Prophet Muhammad is already present in human history. Some scholars have tried to link Kalki with Muhammad based on descriptions in Hindu texts, but this is still a matter of debate. In Islam, Muhammad is the final prophet sent to all humanity without the concept of avatar or reincarnation as in Hinduism. Some figures in Islam and Hinduism have similarities in their roles, although their concepts are different. However, in Islam, prophets are messengers of God, while in Hinduism, the figures are more often considered gods or avatars, so this comparison is more philosophical than theological. True story, friends. See you in the next video.